Hey y'all, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into day 27 and 28 of the Sean Diddy Combs federal trial. It's been a whirlwind of testimony and legal maneuvers, and we're breaking it all down for you today. But before we get started, please hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you don't miss any updates. All right, let's get into it. So first up, day 27. The prosecution had been presenting its case for weeks. Witness after witness, receipts, surveillance, messages, and now they were basically done. After confirming there were no more questions about sexual or affectionate messages between Jane and Diddy, the judge asked, "Do you rest?" The government said yes, subject to corrections. The jury stepped out and immediately Diddy's team got to work. Combs' attorney, Alexander Shapiro, stood up and filed a Rule 29 motion. That's legal speak for saying, hey judge, toss this case, the government didn't prove what they needed to prove. Bold move, but common. Shapiro argued the RICO charges, the backbone of this whole case, didn't hold up. His take, there was no criminal enterprise, no conspiracy, just a rimless hub of people, not the kind of tight operation RICO laws were made for. He said they have not shown the agreement to violate RICO nor agreements to two racketeering acts. At most, there were personal quantities of drugs. They used a lot of Astroglide and baby oil. Yeah, he really said that in federal court. Shapiro painted a picture of messy relationships, private moments, and consenting adults, not crime rings. He said Diddy's assistants weren't in the loop and even pointed out that Cassie, Jane, and Diddy were the ones booking any escorts, not his staff. And on that whole coercion angle, Shapiro wasn't buying it. He said there's no evidence Christina Quorum, Diddy's chief of staff, knew or believed anyone was being coerced. Some messages even showed Diddy lying to her. He added that if Diddy hid his sexual behavior from employees, how could they be co-conspirators? Then came the part about forced labor and sex trafficking. Shapiro's line was clear. These women weren't trafficked. They were grown adults who chose to stay. He argued these are able-bodied U.S. citizens perfectly capable of leaving when they wanted to. What they feared losing was their job. He also tried to knock down kidnapping and obstruction charges, saying Ventura didn't want to report to police and Mia's interactions with D-Rock weren't threatening. He said all D-Rock said was Puff wanted to talk with Mia. There was no threat, no pressure. That's not witness tampering. When the judge asked Diddy how he's feeling, Diddy responded, "I'm doing great, Your Honor. I've been wanting to tell you thank you. Thank you, you're doing an excellent job." The courtroom chuckled. The judge smiled, then got serious again. "Judge, do you understand it's your right not to testify?" Diddy, "Yes, Your Honor." "Judge, did you make this decision on your own?" Diddy, "Yes. With my lawyers, I'm making it." So that was it. Diddy officially chose not to testify. Next day was a wrap-up. No more live witnesses, no big bombshells, but the defense had one last move, stipulations. That's where both sides agree on facts, so you don't need someone to testify. They dropped a series of text messages, digital receipts between Diddy and Cassie to show this wasn't some one-sided situation. In one message, Cassie wrote, "I'm the luckiest woman in the world. I'll get all the pictures together this week. If I don't treat my pop better, you can leave me, but that won't happen." They even showed Cassie buying baby oil because she couldn't help herself, and messages where she requested pics from Diddy and said she was proud of their relationship. It was clear the defense wanted to cast doubt on the idea that she was being forced into anything. Then came the big list of what witnesses didn't say in earlier interviews. The defense highlighted that Mia, in her first 3 law enforcement meetings, never said Diddy initiated sexual contact. Dawn Richardson didn't say Diddy threatened her with people going missing, not until her 4th meeting. Daniel Pelops initially described freak-offs as consensual roleplay, not coercion. Brianna Bongalone didn't mention Diddy threatening her at a photo shoot until much later. In short, the defense painted inconsistencies, gaps, and last-minute changes, calling it a weak case built on shaky memory. Finally, they rested. The prosecution declined to offer any rebuttal. That was it. The judge told the jury they'd be off Wednesday and back Thursday for closing arguments. Each side has 4 hours to make their final pitch, and that's the last thing before the jury gets the case. So with that, the trial is now locked in its final phase. Closing arguments are set to begin Thursday, and then it's up to a jury of 12 to decide his fate. Diddy's still facing 3 serious charges: sex trafficking, racketeering conspiracy, and transportation to engage in prostitution. Despite some confusion online, let's be clear, none of those charges were dropped. What did happen was more of a legal strategy move. Prosecutors met with the judge for a charging conference where they agreed to pull back on certain predicate acts, basically some of the underlying behaviors that help support the racketeering charge. These include attempted arson, like the alleged torching of Kid Cudi's Porsche, attempted kidnapping, like claims from Capricorn Clark and Cassie, and certain theories tied to aiding and abetting sex trafficking. So, while these specific theories won't be listed for jurors to consider in their deliberations, the events can still be referenced to help paint a bigger picture of a criminal pattern. The prosecution is trying to streamline the case, making it easier for the jury to follow the instructions when it's time to deliberate. Now, jurors will be presented with a tighter list of predicate acts, and they'll need to unanimously agree on at least 2 of them to convict on the racketeering conspiracy charge. The twist is, they don't need to agree on the same 2. One juror could believe bribery and forced labor apply, while another sees sex trafficking and obstruction, and Diddy could still be found guilty as long as all 12 agree he was part of a criminal enterprise. Attorneys from both sides spent hours in court going over the language of the jury instructions line by line, page by page, to make sure everything is legally sound. That session was long and heated. Diddy's team argued that the definition of a commercial sexual act had shifted mid-trial, saying the government initially said it had to be a completed act with full physical engagement, but now seemed to imply it didn't. Legal analysts say the prosecution is now preparing to tie together its sprawling case, connecting the dots between Jane, Cassie, Mia, Kid Cudi, the assistants, the escorts, all of it. Their story: Diddy used his power and employees to coerce women into commercial sex acts and hid it behind money, hotels, and status. The defense is pushing back, saying these women were willing participants and that this whole idea of a criminal conspiracy is a reach. And if Diddy is convicted, the government could go after more than his freedom. Think forfeiting homes, cars, planes, or even a money judgment worth millions. Anything tied to the alleged criminal activity. This trial has also resurfaced old legal chapters: the 1991 Stampede, the 1999 club shooting, and the Steve Stout assault case. While those never led to felonies, this might be the moment where the past meets the present. Whether Diddy walks or falls, his public image may never be the same. Alright y'all, what do you think of all this? Do you think the prosecution has made a strong enough case, or has the defense effectively countered the allegations? Share your comments down below. And if you haven't already, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more updates. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.